Hello there. Welcome to a brand new series of a game that everyone was requesting from me. Obviously. It's quite new on Steam. This is the full release. It's been on since 2016 in early access and beta, alpha, whatever it is. It's finally here. We have 4 districts, areas that we can look through, 4 things to explore, an ambition that we can partake on, which will take most of the game. So little quests that we have to do. See how it goes, I suppose. I like to rip on the game, but honestly, it's quite enjoyable. If you don't like massive text dumps, or you hate the sound of my voice, this is really not the series for you, because that's primarily what it's going to consist of. I could have read some of that, but we've got plenty of time. This game is maybe 20 hours long. It's all going up on YouTube. Oh, this has been added, this tutorial part. Let's dock. Blue Kingdom Transit Relay. This is a transit relay to and from the Blue Kingdom. This region of the heavens still ruled by some few traveller is unwelcoming and uncanny. Thanks to the lack of traffic, many London officials consider this a cushy post. We're stationed here on good favour with the department. So I can recall your recent arrival through the relay. Why not? A narrow escape. The orphan recently arrived from the relay in a state of distress, having had to flee the Blue Kingdom. Whatever it was the captain did there incensed the local authorities. They pursued you to the relay and tried to close it while you were missed passage. You barely made it out. What's more, the attempt to close the relay has damaged it, and travel will be possible in either direction until it is repaired. As far as I can tell, the other relays are not locked to you. They're very much open, but whether you want to go to these areas is up to you. One of them looks particularly frightening in the Hybris. That's it. It shouldn't be frightening, really, because it's got a lot of fun guys. Hey. Yeah, we're not always going for dry reading. We're going for the classic puns too. If you haven't stopped watching by now, God bless you. We're going to read some plot points that are vital, but otherwise I'm going to skip over most of this for the sake of time. This is going to be collecting fuel. Nothing really to see here. Do it. Yep. You get a chance based on this stat here. These stats have been built by people who've never played video games. It is not hearts, it is vitality. It's not iron, it's strength. I know, I've played Dark Souls. But someone decided instead to mix it up by going hearts and iron. And these will be primarily what your roles are based on. So think D&D. You've lost 2 crew. Bother. It's like I'll just have to go to the dock and buy more. A final command. The walls of the captain's cabin are lined with hodgepodge curios from across the sky. Captain Whitlock lies bed. Black marks cover her skin like a monstrous brand. When she coughs, coils of acrid smoke pour from her lungs. I approach the bedside like a gentleman. The captain opens her eyes as you draw near. She attempts to smile. Bitch. I am showing you the time of day. You give me a genuine smile. The mouth is blistered from the blue fires that dance on her tongue. That hand grips your arm. Your skin is hot as kettle. Made arrangements. The orphan will be yours. Her voice is just a rasp and burning me out of breath. Oh, I suppose I'll go. But promise, smooth skin. She breaks off to scream in a word in a language that was not made for human mouths. When she resumes speaking English, she is weaker, requests little more than a gasp. Promise me one last service.
Promise.
That's terrible. Well, she's not going to be around to remember it, so... She grimaces and the doctor eases her back with the scorched pillow. Look, all I'm saying is... It's a big commitment to make, alright? To promise a dead person before you even heard what they've said. Okay? You read the terms and agreements before you sign the Google Docs. Otherwise, Google takes your wife. That's how it works. Not that I've ever read it, but I presume. I mean, my wife must have gone somewhere. She grimaces, and the doctor eases her back onto the scorched pillows. Tries to get a spoonful of laudanum between her blackened lips, but she screams fire, and the two of you must spring back. We'd better go, the doctor orders, with a testy pop. Clearly has no idea what he's doing, what to do. Excuse me. I guess I'll leave. Thanks for the attempt at a smile though, I'll remember that. This bar at the bottom here represents how hot your engine is. If you continue to fire, the engine heat will go down. Get out of here, son. But you will take massive damage. Massive being like 5 to 12. Here we arrive at the main harbour of this area. Bring it. You coast into the bustle, the din, the soot and the steam of Wolvesey Station. It's clogged with other engines, scrappy mining locomotives from Lustrum Way, weathered explorers gleaming across, sleek company vessels with bright brass fittings. No sooner have you pulled into the sidings than a brusque station master bustles over. You request to come aboard. I must speak with your captain, he insists, brandishing the ledger. The usual formalities. Looks to the Orphan's doctor with a wink. Look to the Orphan's doctor. He's just appeared at your shoulder. His face is solemn. His hat is in his hands. He lowers his eyes. The crew exchange bleak, wordless looks. The Orphan itself feels suddenly more empty. The station master looks confused. You inform him that, unfortunately, Captain Whitlock has just passed. Ah, he says neutrally. Sorry to hear that. Very sad. Very sad. He waits for what he considers an appropriate minute and a half before continuing. Alas, even amidst tragedy, the cogs of bureaucracy must turn. Captain Whitlock is deceased. The station authority require their answer from the first officer. He dons a set of spectacles and locates his pen. It will be relatively painless. Name, background, purpose of visit, etc. Shall we begin? Hey. Woo. Here we arrive at the screen to select your stats. I'm going to choose a soldier anyway, because that's how I roll. And I'm not going to read any of this, instead I'm just going to go for hearts, because hearts is quite common. Wealth, fame, the truth. These are your ambitions, these are the primary objectives that you will be required to complete in order to complete the entire game. I've completed fame, it's not too hard to do, you just have to play the game a lot. Wealth, quite simple, easy to do. The truth, I'll go read through all of these for those who don't know. Wealth, you want a comfortable retirement. And by comfortable, you mean extravagant. Many have made their fortunes out among the stars, many more have failed, broken, and lost in the drifting night. Will you be different? That's wealth. Fame, you will immortalize your exploits in the song of the sky. For centuries, people have launched themselves into the unknown in the hope of making a name for themselves. You're sure you'll succeed. After all, you've never heard of anyone who didn't. The truth. Even the stars have secrets. They won't keep them from you. A message for an old friend begins an unwise quest to learn a secret that the stars hide. What drives you? Curiosity, justice, insolence, whatever it is, it will be tested. I have no idea why it is capitalized. Okay. It even has a little disclaimer at the bottom here. Let's just This isn't great. This is like receiving your medication, it seems. It may cause depression. Be warned, this is a demanding ambition, best played by lineage that has already completed wealth and fame. Excuse me, are you telling me what to do? God, he looks so dapper. It is a he because he's got a moustache. Carrington. I'm confused, and that's how everything should be. I'm gonna call myself Confucius. Not because I've spelled this wrong, I have no doubt, but that makes it even better. It's based on a popular Chinese philosopher, I believe, but I'm doing this because it sounds somewhat like I'm confused, which I am. I'm disabling all advice. I'm too hardcore for that shit. The reading of the will. 3 weeks have passed. This morning Captain Whitlock received a simple memorial service. Her body was consigned to a necropolis train bound for the Serene Mausoleum. They sit with a handful of her relatives, threadbare officers of her solicitors. Methodical notary is reading the will. Who is getting the Gran Torino? That is my question. Is it the Vietnamese boy? It's a little movie reference if you didn't get that. She was wealthy once, but squandered her capital on mysterious expenses before her expedition to the Blue Kingdom. What a bitch. Leaving me like this, I could have finished the whole of Ambition wealth if you hadn't just spent it all since the end. The captain's relatives from whom she was mostly endangered. Estranged, but I argue they're one and the same. I'm clearly wondering why you are here. And a final codicil. Here we go, codicil. Who knows what that means? I'll give you a minute. That's right, browse Wikipedia. I don't blame you. I don't know what codicil means, so we're just gonna move on. That's gonna be most of this series, so if I mispronounce a word, well, deal with it. I'm not Wayne June. I can't just spout words and eat a whole dictionary for breakfast and then say it with so much passion and enthusiasm that I can convince you I know what it means. So you're gonna just have to read. In a final codicil. Oh, that's right, I have to do a silly voice. In a final codicil, the notary announces, Captain Whitlock confirmed that possession of the Orpheum was to pass to its first officer. He peers at you with dry, grey eyes. This includes a certain black box contained in the Orpheum's hold. Captain Whitlock's final request was that, at a time of your choosing, you transport said box to an address in London. He hands you an address card and deposited there. You're not to look inside, she gave no explanation. And that's it. You're captain now. The Orpheum is yours. Yes, let me defile and desecrate her ambitions and dreams. Wolvesey Station is the primary spot that you'll be returning to get rid of stress and all of that stuff. I'm going to hire on some crew immediately. I'm not going to read any of this because it's entirely pointless, and if you read all of this again and again and again, I guarantee you will go mad. You'll start wearing a nun's habit with a beard and calling yourself nurse. You can repair your locomotive, explore the city. You can go here if you really want. I'm not going to, because I'm hardcore like that. And because they're boring old sods and who would want to hang out with them at the pub. They're burnouts, and I'm the real deal. I'm no washed up celebrity. I'll make it. Visit the Promise of Days. Nope, that's the same thing. Winchester War, we have not contributed it, so it's not our problem. As with all war. Recruit the Incautious driver. I specialise in test driving, but I'm looking for something quiet. Like that, without screaming. Sign on for you. You're bleeding me dry here. I guess I will. I'll take a scarred individual. The driver boards, eager to get started. I recently parted ways with the Winwood Company, they explained. Personally, I think a crash week isn't so bad. They disagreed. Oh well, live and learn. Fastidious Inspector. I'm sure she has a personality, but I just use her like an object of the game. You're supposed to take her to Port Prosper. There she'll give you loads of cash. And she has no limit of time. It's a good quest to get out of the way. Excuse me, Captain? A woman pushes through the crowd towards you. She's short and square-shouldered in a neat black suit and polished shoes. She shows you the case of her pocket watch. It is embossed with the crown and hourglass of London's horological office, the body responsible for ensuring the time is consistent across the empire. I'm happy to book passage to Prosper, she says, slipping the watch away. I can, of course, pay. Yep, let's do it. The locomotive I was on broke down following a boiler rupture. Chief engineer's fault, I suspect. Gentleman fonder of brandy and of diligence. Here, an initial sum to seal our bargain. Good, give me money. You know, I'll kind of put it on the agenda, but I can't promise I'll be there with it, ever. So, good luck. Following your return to New Winchester, you are eager to meet up with an old friend. She is a staunch veteran. Ah, that is a neat touch. I'm glad that it's proving me wrong and there's some role-playing with this. A staunch veteran. You served together in the military. She was reliable and brooked no nonsense. Oh yeah. I'm liking it. Did she look at explosions though? She left the army not long after you did and kept in touch, mostly via letter, occasionally meeting in pubs or clubs. Excuse me. I don't hang out with those types. When London arrived in the heavens, she was smitten by the idea of life among the stars, and invested her savings in her own locomotive. She's a skyfarer now, captain of the Azazel. She associates with a group of seasoned captains who gather at the promise of days. I knew it! I knew it. Here in New Winchester. Perhaps you can find her there. Inquire to the staunch sergeant. Ah, she speaks to you of you often, the plucky Baroness says. I'm afraid you've missed her. We've all been missing her recently. Busy girl, but she's been doing important work in London. The bedeviled didact, of course, frowns darkly and fingers one of his amulets. We've been assisting in our small ways. She'll want to explain herself. She left a letter. Meg, yes, we all know who Meg is. Please don't give any more descriptions like the plucky Baroness or the bedeviled didact. Just call her Meg. Thank you. Meg pulls a crumpled envelope from the pocket of her patched coat. I'd open it somewhere private. Someone, she yells at the masked citizen, will try to read it over your shoulder. The masked citizen nods unapologetically. It's true, on disgrace. I'm gonna give him the Kenny voice. Well, I guess I'll decipher it elsewhere, because I do not plan on sticking with the tutorial for long. Oh, that was quick. Or not. Privately, you examine the letter. The staunch sergeant's handwriting, never neat, is clearly hurried. There are several unfinished trains of thought angrily struck through. She writes coyly of having embarked on the journey of the most fundamental discovery, of having uncovered celestial secrets. She says she wants to discuss her progress with you, but does not say where or when. The envelope also contains a collection of unfinished crosswords cut from the newspaper. We will investigate the black box. Captain Whitlock left it to you in the hold of the Orpheum. Her will described it only as a black box, a description you consider to be an unhelpful understatement. It is a casket of black basalt, longer than you are told, unadorned with a single small recess that contains a keyhole. Consider what to do with it. Let's do that. The last request of Captain Amelia Whitlock was for the box to be transported to a specific address in London. Alternatively, you could perhaps find someone willing to purchase it as a curiosity. If you knew what was inside, you might be able to command a higher price. We're cracking that immediately. The bottle of wine is opening well before the guests have arrived, because I'm just like that. Try and remember when Captain Whitlock acquired the box. It was subject to speculation among the crew. Captain Whitlock had brought it on board just before your ill-fated expedition to the Blue Kingdom. It was empty then. You know, because you peeked inside. Saw the lid and the box carried on board separately and assembled in the hold. It's not empty now. It is sealed and even heavier than before. But you left for the Blue Kingdom shortly after the box was delivered and made no stops on the way, so whatever is inside the box now, Captain Whitlock found in the Blue Kingdom. Okay. Well, I'm sure they won't want that back. And I'm sure it has nothing to do with the fact that we just gunned it out of there. So in the box, it is the dimensions of a sarcophagus plundered from the tomb of some forgotten Prince of Egypt. There are no carvings or inscriptions on it. The joint where the lid meets the body is too thin to admit even a knife blade. There are no holes by which light or air may find their way in. It's impossible to see inside without opening it. Even the keyhole has been engineered in such a way as to prevent peeking. Well, if only you could make this an option for spoilers on YouTube. I've seen the whole of Kingdom Hearts without having played the game. The recess with the keyhole, though, as far as you can determine, that it is a more recent addition to the box. The stone is being drilled and chiseled in a way to create space for a modern metal lock. Okay. It must be crack. That's what's in this box. It is the Blue Kingdom, after all. Maybe it's Iceland. These are quite the options, which I'd love to do, but we don't have anything. That'll be the first episode, just an introduction to the series. This is the basics. It gets a bit more complicated later on. The verbiage, listen to me. The verbiage gets complicated. I'm going to try and cut out as much as I can of the stuff that's unnecessary. Hopefully this is an entertaining enough series to continue. So, thank you all for watching. I hope to see you later. Goodbye.